The sequel to Matt Reeves' critically acclaimed Batman film has officially been announced as part of Warner Bros. And DC's presentation at their recent CinemaCon panel. While writer and director Matt Reeves will be back at the helm, Robert Pattinson is also set to reprise his role as the Caped Crusader. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. First up, The Batman 2. It's hardly surprising that there's already a sequel in the making. Reeves' dark take on the iconic Gotham City superhero smashed records at the box office on its opening weekend. It went on to rake in almost $134 million domestically, making it the second largest superhero film of the pandemic era, following Marvel's Spider-Man No Way Home's back in December 2021, which grossed $260 million. It was the largest opening weekend for Warner Bros. In the last 5 years, and the best ever start for Reeves. It makes sense that the film would get a sequel considering the outright success of the film. After all, the film perfectly sets up several plot threads for the story in The Batman 2, including deleted footage of Barry Keoghan's Joker. Next, we have the Joker. While he only makes a minor appearance in the final scene of The Batman, a deleted scene revealed an interaction between him and Batman. The scene was removed from the film as studios thought it may take some thunder away from Paul Dano's Riddler, and considering Keoghan's outstanding performance in the clip, they weren't wrong. Reeves' Joker resembles none of his predecessors, with a largely disfigured and burned face along with a signature Joker laugh. Either way, the studio's beginning to reveal more of the Batman's version of the supervillain, meaning it could be leading up to his big debut in The Batman 2. Since Wayne is already taking visits with the Joker, there's no doubt he has a larger role in the sequel. His reveal has been a long process because of its infamy in the Batman universe, and could possibly be a major player in this film's sequel. However, it seems Reeves is deciding to hold info on the character for as long as possible, since a battle with the Joker is much more suited for the franchise's finale. Now onto the Court of Owls. It's yet unknown whether the Court of Owls will play a part in the Batman sequel. However, the ending of the film definitely seems to point to that. The film has clearly set up this possibility, as the focus on organized crime is an integral part of Reeves' rendition, and the Court of Owls consists of Gotham's most corrupt elite. Since Gotham has only gotten worse after the Riddler shenanigans, the Court of Owls could likely be the next centerpiece of the sequel. Pattinson has also reportedly shown his support of this idea. Although he said it was just an educated guess, if the star is putting it out there, then it may not be that far from the truth. Who else could be facing off against the Bats after all? So, when will the sequel come out? The first film faced several delays due to the global pandemic, especially since it began filming shortly before lockdown and was stalled for several months before picking back up later in 2020. The Batman was originally scheduled for a summer 2021 release, so considering the filming and time frame of the first movie, The Batman 2 may be out in the summer of 2024 at the earliest. In the meantime, there are some possible spin-off shows in the works that will only add to the Batman universe. Let's talk the spin-off series. As of right now, there are 3 confirmed and 1 possible spin-off shows. It was announced back in 2020 that a series focused on the Gotham Police Department would be released on HBO Max. However, it was put on indefinite hold since disagreements led to an entirely different spin-off. Replacing Gotham PD on Reeves' production cycle is an untitled Arkham Asylum series that would likely feature Barry Keoghan's Joker, although the show's timeline hasn't been confirmed. Reeves had revealed that the series will feature more of the horror genre, and Keoghan's horrific Joker would certainly be a perfect fit. The most recently announced spin-off revolves around the Penguin. The series is currently in active development with HBO Max, and Colin Farrell has reprised his role as the iconic gangster. The series will feature the rise of Oswald Cobblepot into his current position as a high-flying gangster, possibly setting him up as a big part of the Batman sequel following Falcone's death. Finally, while a Catwoman spin-off hasn't yet been confirmed nor announced, Reeves has expressed interest that he'd like to make one. Given the success of Zoe Kravitz's astounding performance in the role, it's probable that Reeves' wish could come true. One thing's for sure, these spin-offs would be the perfect way to pass the time while we await the sequel for the Batman itself. Now, in other related news, how will the Flash movie affect the DCEU? In other DC-related news, one of the biggest ways the Flash is set to change the DCEU is its introduction of the DC Multiverse. While trailers haven't revealed the exact extent of the multiverse's impact on the DCEU, they've featured teases of Michael Keaton's Batman, who is also set to appear in HBO Max's upcoming Batgirl movie. Although recent delays for The Flash may cause a problem for how Keaton's introduced into the DCEU, the franchise Flash adopting a new Batman is an interesting angle. By incorporating a previous incarnation of one of DC's signature heroes, The Flash will change the fabric of the entire DCEU and open up a wealth of new possibilities. Exactly what it means for the future of the DCEU isn't entirely clear, but by bringing in pre-existing versions of its characters from other movies, The Flash will be one of the DCEU's most important films to date. It's entirely possible that Keaton will be just one of many previous iterations of DC's characters brought into the fold, making way for a crossover event of epic proportions that could match the hype the Spider-Man No Way Home generated: the return of Zod. Michael Shannon is returning to the DCEU as the iconic warlord General Zod from Man of Steel. They're getting closer to finally releasing the Flash film, which has been in development since October 2014. The film will be relying on one of the biggest aspects of Flash's mythology, which is traveling through the multiverse. Taking a few cues from DC's Flashpoint storyline, the Flash finds Barry trying to change the fate of his mother, Nora Allen, who was murdered during his childhood. By traveling back in time, Barry accidentally gets twisted into an alternative reality, changing the fates of all of the universe's characters, which is how Michael Keaton's Batman returns for the first time since 1992. The Flash will also introduce Supergirl to the big screen for the first time since Helen Slater's film in 1984, with Sasha Calle donning the famous costume. However, it appears there is another Kryptonian making their way into the Flash. Michael Shannon, who portrayed the villainous General Zod in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, is officially reprising the part in The Flash. During this year's CinemaCon event, fans saw new footage from DC's upcoming project, and it featured a reveal of Shannon's infamous Superman villain. Exactly how General Zod factors into the Flash's storyline remains to be seen. It's likely that Shannon makes a brief appearance, unless the Man of Steel star was more involved with the production. Even though General Zod died in the 2013 installment, Shannon's presence in The Flash might be made possible through time travel, if Barry somehow managed to travel back to the past when Superman took on the Kryptonian warlord. The return of Henry Cavill? There has been no confirmation or denial from Warner Brothers regarding the fate of Cavill's Superman. The actor appeared in the role for the first time in 2013's Man of Steel and reprised the role in Batman vs. Superman in 2016. After the terrible reception of the Justice League leading to its bombing at the box office, Warner Brothers restructured the leadership at DC Films and gave priority to independent superhero films within their own universes that can cross over with each other every now and then, rather than a centralized cinematic universe. Cavill has insisted that he's still hopeful about donning the cape again. When he appeared in the costume in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, Cavill not only looked the part, but he also portrayed an extremely powerful, nigh invulnerable superhero who nevertheless had issues like any other person, as he finds himself a loner among humans who are clearly very different from him. He wants to help them, but is afraid of showing his true face to the world. Whatever happens, it appears that Cavill is still pretty interested in the character, but it would require a capable director to reinvent the character in some way and make what was once the greatest of superheroes watchable again after the debacle that was Justice League. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think is going to be the plot of The Batman 2? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.